Hey everybody, um, I'm Kanique. This is Sam, my wife. She is a mental health counselor, limited permit, and we always have conversations about mental health and kind of the state of the individual. And we thought right now would be a great time to have a conversation about isolation. There's so many of us right now who are feeling isolated, having to physically be isolated, and it could have an impact on our mental health. And I figured I would, just talk and see kind of what your thoughts are on things. So, to start off, what are some emotions that people might be having right now dealing with isolation?
I think right now, one of the main emotions a lot of people might be feeling might be sadness.
Okay.
Not being able to physically interact with people as much, not being able to see loved ones as much, or just engage in everyday social events. A lot of people can be feeling sadness. Yeah, just lack of connection, especially that physical part that a lot of us probably didn't realize were in our lives. Sadness is a big part of it. The other emotion I would say would be anxiety. So a lot of us are worried about what is going to happen, and most of anxiety comes from worry about the future. Am I going to lose my job? How am I going to pay my bills? How can I support my family? So I think a lot of us are suspended in a state of anxiety and not knowing what's going to happen and what that means.
Okay. Um, so what are some things that people can do to deal with sadness and anxiety?
I think one of the first things anyone can do is to acknowledge what they're feeling.
Okay.
It can be uncomfortable but if you take a time to just sit with your thoughts and acknowledging that emotion and labeling it actually can be very helpful. So to say right now, I'm feeling sadness. Like I feel it in my body. My posture is slumped. I feel like I'm not motivated to do anything. Or I'm anxious, my thoughts are racing, like I'm jumping from one thought to the next, and my shoulders are tense, my neck hurts. Just acknowledging it is the first place that you can start, and then that way you can try to find ways to cope with it.
Okay, very good. Are there any physical things that people can do to help cope?
I think one of the most important things is to have a routine. So whatever routine you had before, to try to keep that in place as much as possible, or to create a new routine that you're going to follow every day. So set an alarm to wake up at a specific time and do certain things. Like I'll get up and take a shower and then set the coffee and then get to my paperwork.
Okay.
Another thing a lot of people can do is journaling. I love to journal. A lot of people have probably seen me journaling. I'll set candles and all this fancy stuff. But a lot of times it doesn't involve that. Sometimes it's me in my bedroom or a thought comes to my head. Sometimes I do it in my phone, my iPhone, and not like pen and paper. But for me, just writing those thoughts and giving myself that time to process my feelings is very helpful. And I think there's a lot of power in seeing the written words because you can take time to pause and reflect on that. And even a few days later, if you go back and look at that, you can see how much has changed or how your perspective can shift.
Awesome. I don't know if a lot of people know this too, but you got me into journaling. I do journal. Um, I do a little bit more digitally than you do. You like to physically write. I do on the iPad, and a lot of my ideas for like blogs that I might write or different social media posts come from that journaling. Um, and as a mental health professional, do you think there's a particular time where people should seek professional help when it comes to their sadness or anxiety?
Yeah. So for most things, when it comes to seeking mental help, a lot of the times, if you're not able to function,
Okay.
that is usually when you need to reach out for professional help. At this time, it's normal for anyone to feel sad or angry. And it can take up, some parts of your day, especially in the beginning. But if you literally cannot function and it's been going on for a few days, it probably is time to try to like reach out to someone else.
A few days or a few weeks. What do you think?
It really depends on the person.
Okay.
I wouldn't say you can easily diagnose someone during this time that if they just start having symptoms.
Right.
So if let's say all of this ended next month and 3 months later, 4 months later, someone is still having that same level of anxiety,
Okay.
then that might be something that might be diagnosable, or they still need help, because there is a certain amount of time that is typical for most people to adjust.
Okay.
And it really depends on the symptoms that are going on. I would say to first exhaust your coping skills, whatever helps you feel better, whatever those natural supports you have, the people that you love, whoever you like to speak to, and if you're tapping into doing the things that make you feel better. And if none of those things are working and you feel that it is very, very dysfunctional, you cannot do anything, you can't focus at all, then maybe you should reach out to someone.
Okay. All right. That was awesome. Thanks for the insight, Sam. I'm not sure how many more of these we're going to do, but maybe we'll try a few more while we're both home. This is definitely an adjustment for us, both
Yeah.
working from home, so to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll do it again.
Right.